I want you to think about your business functionally rather than personally. Rather than thinking about what people do, I want you to think about what needs to be done.
While most people see problems, entrepreneurs, they see opportunities.
I have a longing to do more of this stuff, and it doesn't even make commercial sense. But I just have this thing inside me that says it's the right thing, and it's actually going to help me get the business more organised so that I can then have a bit more time.
One of the biggest problems I've had over the last few years is how much time I have spent working in the business versus on the business. And it's actually quite a common problem with businesses, and that's why the rates of business failure is so high, because most business owners or most businesses are started by technicians, whereby if you take a hairdresser for example, or an engineer, they are great at their craft on most cases, but running a business is a whole separate craft in itself.
I've told you already, I want to get an assistant on board, and I want to get some other staff on board, which will then mean I can work on the business versus in the business. So a property to see, a flat to see, so we're going to do a flat in the city centre, and we're going to have to go and pick the keys up for a client, go to a property, make some decisions, or help her make some decisions on whether she re-rents it or sells it, and help her deal with it after doing a little inventory and a calculation of what needs done.
So one of my biggest sort of challenges in recent years has been I've spent so much time at the foundation levels actually working in the business versus working on the business, and that is essential in your early stages of running a business. It's crucial. We spend so much time focusing on the day-to-day, the small things, the doing every day, the sort of to-do list of things that you need to do, seeing the clients and dealing with them and chatting with them, and not able to build your business. And building your business is things like recruiting, maybe even training people, or coming up with a training program that someone can train your people on, sort of inspiring them, motivating them, getting new opportunities in, getting clients in. If you were going to do any role, I would say still just be a marketing person for your business. And really that's what I have started to try and do, is become that marketing person, that working on the business versus in the business. It actually costs us money when I am spending hours and hours and hours a week on a customer service call. Really technical issues that some of our businesses face, me going in and solving them. And where actually I should be focused on is other things. As I say, is looking at opening new offices throughout the UK. Whether it be in the property space, the finance or legal space, they're the kind of three niches that we work in.
So, a client of ours, a little extra one, an elderly client of ours, had a flat. This flat in a lovely area in Edinburgh is now in between of, do I keep it and rent it again, or do I sell it? This is a very nice place.
Yeah.
Oh, this would command £800 a month in just normal rent.
Yeah.
Now £800 a month over the course, you're talking about £10,000 a year. If you were doing a week-by-week holiday type let of sorts, you probably could get 1,000 a week. And if you could rent out 25 weeks out of the year. I'm in the position now, I've obviously sold day 2 houses. And I'm taking, house that, let's say 200 grand, by the time you spend some money bringing it up to a standard. Is it worthwhile spending the money and buying it outright, or is it better to...
And it's a bit cheesy, but it's true, the more hands you shake, the more money you make. And this podcast and this type of personal branding we do allows us to do that type of thing. It allows us to get out there and shake hands and network and grow the business through indirect ways. and having that bigger view on things versus in the office, answering the phones, creating the paperwork, selling that specific item.
When you're in the position, like, I am effectively like a slave to my own business right now at times, and that kind of defeats what an element of working on your own, being an entrepreneur and a business person is.
At heart, I am still a salesperson, that is what I am, but I have realised that why is my businesses getting to a certain point and either plateauing or in past failing. And I think that's what it was. I got it to a certain part where I was still going out and visiting clients, selling to clients, come back, write the report up, taking the documents back to sign. I'd done that part too much, and as I say, I then neglected other things which were essential to not only thriving but to the survival of the business. So I've always known this for the last couple of years or for the last year or so, but coming away from those tactical things has proved difficult. So I've brought an assistant in.
So basically what I think I'll do, just so I can get in on Monday and get going, because you're going to be starting on Monday and so is Stephanie. Look forward to getting you in. You'll see yourself how busy it'll be. You won't have 2 days the same. And yeah, like I says, I think you're going to do really well actually in this role. So.
And the thought behind that is, although I'm having to invest in bringing an assistant in, is that a huge part to be able to working on your business versus in your business is sort of, I'm not a believer in kind of managing time. I don't really think that's a thing, but certainly managing myself and my diary. It's a huge part that if you can manage things strict and regimented in that way and really pay attention to what you're scheduling in, then I think you've got a better chance of succeeding. So bringing in an assistant for me is so that they can help take away some of those low value tasks and allow me to focus on the higher value tasks.
I want you to think about your business functionally rather than personally. Rather than thinking about what people do, I want you to think about what needs to be done.
So
First
that's
of all,
Michael
the first
Gerber.
box is gonna be-
It's ancient old. The actual content, the audio program. He must have been in the UK or whatever doing a talk, because he makes reference to it. He's basically talking about how fucking all the time, and I've been there and I am there at times, which is one of the reasons why I'm getting an assistant on board, is that I am doing far too many tactical actions within the business and not enough strategic sort of planning and thinking and organising. So he talks about working on the business versus in the business.
And Michael Gerber originally came up with this a long time ago, and if you've never read the sort of Michael Gerber's and his E-Myth sort of systems, some of it maybe a little bit outdated, but I would highly encourage you to go and do that. And that is, do not be the technician within your business, but be the kind of entrepreneur within your business. As I say, it will work for so long, but at one point in time you need to be the business operator, the kind of visionary, and not the tactical side of the technician within the business. If you don't do it, there's a chance you're going to fail, you're going to come up against problems, and if you're not fully skilled in being an entrepreneur and business person, then there is a high chance that you might fail. So the choice is yours. Be the technician, or be the visionary.